Every successful practice has a moment no one brags about. It's a miss, a mistake, a setback. Fail Forward is a short series where dentists and practice owners share the failure that forced them to grow and the change that made everything better. This is where progress really begins.
Hi, this is Lisa with Unlock the PPO. I'm really happy that Michael's been doing this Fail Forward series. I think it's super helpful for dentists. The topic I'd like to mention is the administrative cost of participation with PPOs, which you may not be factoring into the mix. You're going to know the dollar amounts, the difference between your PPO fee schedule and your cash fees, your insurance write-offs. You're going to see that. That's a piece that most dentists are pretty aware of. But there's the hidden cost of the administrative piece is one that you frequently aren't seeing. And I'll use a dentist that we work with. This has been over a decade ago, but she's really a perfect example of the dynamic that happens in so many of your practices. This is a dentist. She'd been open about a year and a half. And she reached out to me. I was checking in with her just to see how she was doing because she had a new baby. And she said she was doing great. And she was getting ready to hire another full-time front desk person. And I was surprised at that because this was physically not a big practice, a general dentist, no HMO, no Medicaid. So I couldn't figure out at that stage of her practice ownership that she had enough patient flow to support 2 full-time front desk people. So I asked her, are you just crazy busy? And she said, yeah, she was busy, but the main reason she was hiring this person was for insurance, which is almost always the answer. And so I asked her, well, is there a single carrier that is a bigger problem for you and your team? And she said, yes, at that time, it was UnitedHealthcare. So I asked her, well, if you didn't have to deal with UnitedHealthcare at all, would you be hiring this person? And she said no. So I asked her to run a report and see how much money had she made from UnitedHealthcare that whole previous year. So she came back the next day, she'd run the report. The whole previous year, she'd made $21,000 from UnitedHealthcare. So again, she was getting ready to hire a full-time front desk person and pay them well in excess of $21,000 a year, plus benefits, plus, again, the added drama of managing another human being up front. And so I said, I'm sure she's lovely, but you shouldn't hire her. You should terminate UnitedHealthcare. She would have been, in essence, paying for the privilege of working with that network. Now, she knew she was going to lose some of her UnitedHealthcare patients. She didn't lose nearly as many as she thought she was going to. But that's a piece that you really do want to pay attention to. Your front desk is typically going to know what you feel is a productive and a non-productive day in your chair. And they're very, very focused on that. But very often, they don't value their own time the same way. So it's going to be really critical for them to be the keeper of the gates and let you know when any individual network is becoming more of a burden administratively than their value might present. Which carriers are more dominant in your over 90-day claims report? They're taking more of your front desk's time. Is your front desk's following up on the claims? Ideally, they are. You want to know if they're not. That's time. Which carriers are denying claims with what I would call fighting words, where it makes it sound like you did something wrong, not that their plan is just atrocious. So getting in the middle of your good relationship with these patients, that could be a reason why you consider dropping a network. If your front desk finds that they just spent 45 minutes, as an example, on the phone with Humana, trying to get reimbursement for 2 bite wings, even if they were successful, that was highly unlikely to have been a good use of their own chair time. And you won't see it because you're going to be with patients. So they need to, instead of just being frustrated, they need to step back and think, my time's valuable. Could I have done this differently? Or have I done everything right and this carrier is just impossible to deal with? And if so, they truly need to let you know. It's more common now for me to see doctors terminate a network earlier simply because it's a difficult network to work with, and they might terminate it for fees. So look at the fees, absolutely. But in this case, that doctor terminating UnitedHealthcare was the right choice.
Before you move on, write down your own fail forward moment, the one that changed how you think, lead, or decide today. And if you're willing, share it inside our Facebook group, the Dental Marketers Society Facebook group. There's going to be a link in the show notes below. And your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear.